and welcome. It is us. And I'm just trying to work out everything. Right, there it is. Right. What have you been up to? What was that you were telling me about a Mars bar? Something about once a day? I don't know. What was that you were saying?
Mars bar a day keeps the dentist away. I don't know.
Trying to get myself in and you in on TikTok and can't do it.
I just remember what it was.
What?
A Mars a day helps you work, rest, and play.
We all know you play a lot with the amount of kids you've got. Right. Hello and welcome back to the show. As you know, it is I, Leclerc, with my bestest buddy there, Mr. Wayne, Chocolate Eclair. And hi, Noreen. Hi, everybody else. Hi, everybody out there.
Hi, Noreen.
I've noticed one thing I meant to say with TikTok, not TikTok, Facebook. No, fuck me. YouTube. This is supposed to be going out live on YouTube, but when I check the YouTube, it's not. But I put all the links in and everything, and it should be. So I'm going to have to keep doing that. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, what was I going to say? On the UFO front, before I say anything about Kia, the fucking Starmer, wanker. On the UFO front, I see Trump has officially been briefed on alien hybrids.
Apparently.
Me. Yeah. What do you make of that?
If he's pushed it hard enough, I think they'll have had no choice.
He probably has pushed it hard enough, apparently, according to those parties he's been to, anyway. But yeah, he's apparently been briefed on alien hybrids, and apparently it's supposed to have scared him. Can't see him being scared, but maybe his wig was. I don't know.
It could quite possibly be the fact that he's been filled in on the information.
Yeah.
And it's more amazement rather than scared. I think, it's like, see, I knew there was something right about all this. And like everything, it's been misinterpreted.
Misinterpreted?
Misinterpreted.
Interpreted. Yes. Indubitably, that's all right. Well, it said it was Grush. Grush in an interview and said, yeah, he's now been briefed on alien hybrids. So if that isn't an admission of either there's a breeding program that's been going on, an experimental program that's been going on, or there's been humpy going on. But either way, something's been going on.
Which would be where Close Encounters of the Third Kind comes into play.
Well, a lot of people say that they're us from the future, don't they? Some of the greys are us from the future. Not all of them, some of them.
Well, that was what the binary code, apparently, what the binary code that Jim Penniston saw in his vision when he touched the Rendlesham Forest UFO.
For those of you who don't know, Jim Penniston was a USAF grunt, wasn't he? And he was on guard that night, and he was one of the two guys that touched the UFO when it landed, and he had the total recall and everything.
And they reckon that some of the binary code that he saw had been written down, and someone has managed to translate that binary code, and it turned out that they were us from 5,000 years in the future.
The thing that gets me about us in 5,000 years in the future, I know we're going to evolve. I know that somebody at some point in the future is going to fuck up and there's going to be an almighty war, which is going to fuck it for everybody. There will be survivors. Let's hope that doesn't happen, because none of us want that war. None of us want it to happen. Not even so. If you're in the service and you want that to happen, you're a fucking idiot. I'm ex-service. Wayne's ex-service. We don't want it to happen. Everybody we know don't want it to happen. So
I think it will just be. I don't think the war will happen, but I think the evolution will.
What? No genitals whatsoever?
Well, we wouldn't need to, would we?
In 5,000 years, that wouldn't happen.
I'm glad I'll be gone by then.
No, mate. What are you doing? I'm peeing. What is that appendage?
You'll miss the pleasure of reproducing.
Yeah, that's got to take. We've hit that stage already in the show, and we're not even 10 minutes in yet. Oh God, 6 minutes in, we're talking about it. Yeah, I'm sorry if that's you, if that's us in the future, and we're smooth, no bumps, nothing down there. What the fuck? Everything's from a test tube? No. Do you know what? I was having a very interesting conversation today, actually, with Rachel, and we were talking about. I'll talk to you about some of the stuff off camera, but one of them, and it's something that I've got a bugbear about, and I think I've spoken to you about before. But anyway, one of the things we're talking about is how since COVID, doctors' surgeries now. You've got the receptionists that think they're fucking God and think they're little Hitlers and cross with Rottweilers and the information superhighway, you know. Doctors have absolutely it's nothing like it was before COVID. And now you've got doctors trying to persuade you not to have babies and, you know, saying that if your 12-year-old or 11-year-old wants to be a little girl instead of a little boy, I think you should let them do that. They should have the surgery to take everything away and turn them in. What the fuck? We know we're overpopulated and we're stripping our resources, but that to me, and that's what we were talking about, that to me says there's been a mandate or something that's been going about where persuade people. What do you reckon?
It certainly looks like something like that's going on, doesn't it?
It does indeed.
You know, it's all about all these business about the hormone replacements and stuff like that. And it's like, well, hang on a minute. Are you trying to, you know, the Chinese tried it and they created a generation gap as a result. And that was just by families can only have one child.
That's right, yeah.
And that caused a generation gap. So the Chinese had to sort of do something about it and relax that law.
Yeah.
Because otherwise there would be a generation gap, which wouldn't be good for the country. So you've got to do something about it. And now other countries are doing something similar by allowing doctors to go, right, well, okay, well, you know, if you want your child to be like this, then you need to do this, this, and this. What?
I don't know if I can say it properly, but say hello.
Hello, everybody in TikTok world. If you'd like to share out the show, don't forget to get your heartme's and share out to other people. That would be awesome.
See? There you go. That'd be really cool. I don't know bugger all about TikTok, but if you'd like to share the show out, that would really help us a lot. Because it's new to me, the whole TikTok thing. It's not to Wayne, but it is to me. So I've already started doing it, and I actually remembered today to put TikTok on whilst we're doing the show. So yeah, it does, doesn't it? It seems like there's a real shitty mandate there. I mean, at the end of the day, an 11-year-old says, "Yeah, I don't want to be a boy, I want to be a girl," or 13, or 14, or even 15. You're still developing, you're still growing, you're still developing up here, and in my mind, it's let them be kids, let them be teenagers, let them make their own fucking mind up first. that shouldn't be a parent's choice. That shouldn't be a parent's decision, because what that child feels at the age of 11, it's not going to want what it's going to want when it's like 28, 25, 28, something like that. It's going to be like, what the fuck have I done? You know?
Yeah.
What the hell are you thinking of putting me through that, mum, dad? What's wrong with you? You know?
I mean, up until about 18, 19, it's all about discovery and who you are as a person. There is no confirmation of what they want to be really until they're sort of late teens into the 20s.
But sorry, I was Nico Sharp. He probably found out he's married to one. She does have a certain Nordic beauty to her. Ivana or Ivanka?
Ivana Trump.
Ivana Trump. But that sound over here, that sounds like some Polish dude trying to fart. For those of you who are watching and not from the UK, Trump is another slang term for fart, you know, to blow off. So, Ivana Trump, you want to fart? Go ahead, you know. I don't know. But yeah, it does. I mean, it may be controversial to some people. And don't get me wrong, we are not poo-pooing any community, LGBTQ, XYZ, whatever it all is now. We're not poo-pooing any of that. What I am saying is that if you're under a certain age, you don't really know what the fuck you want. You don't even know if you want to be a fireman or a policeman or a wrestler, you know? So trying to turn around and say you want to be a boy, you want to be a girl, you want to be a teapot, you want to be a cactus. Why what the fuck are we doing pandering to this? Why are grown-ass people who've studied for years and got all these PhDs and doctorates going, yes, I think something doesn't ring true, because you didn't have this before COVID. You had a little bit, and you would have people saying, let them grow up, let them be kids, which is true. Let them be kids, let them grow up. But now they're turning around saying, yeah, you should be this and you should be. No, that's fucking wrong, man. Hey, Rita, you're right. It is wrong, and I don't agree with it. Don't agree with it at all.
We even get it with things like the ADHD medicine that our doctors will not prescribe it. So we have to go through a central system to get her medication. And since we've been on that system, the medication has come through very quickly. We've had no problems with it, but the doctors still won't prescribe it.
I got something for you. I'm getting counselling, grief counselling, because I'm not over my mum's death and everything like that. And it's brought back Damien taking his own life and all that shit. But the last counselling I've had and this one have turned around and said, you do realise you're neurodivergent, don't you, Mark? We want you to go and get, what is it? I've got to be autism tested and ADHD tested. ADHD, fucking yes, 100%. Totally agree with. When I've had coffee and I work with anybody else who's got ADHD and they're going off on one, I go off on one. Like, Rachel's ADHD, but she controls it and I control it most of the time. And we've never had a... And the other day we were sorting out clothes in the box room, and she started going, and I looked at her and I started going, and she was like, oh, and we both started doing it back and forth. But my kids have got, ADHD. Yep, you're definitely on. What was it? Neurodivergent. That's what they said.
The thing is, if you're lower level ADHD, it's manageable.
Yeah, it is. I can control it most of the time.
Yeah, if you're higher end ADHD, then that's usually when medication comes into it.
Are you mad at me? What?
Why?
Rita, what drugs are you on at the moment? Nobody here's mad at you. Are you mad at her? She just come up and said, I hate to ask, are you mad at me? Fuck knows. Got no idea. Hang on. Because you got the green one.
No, we're not mad.
We have the purple one, and we have the blue one over there. And Wayne on camera, hang on, he's got the green one.
Take me to your leader. No.
It was Wayne that got us these. So that's why I was looking at the green one going, I want one. But yeah, ADHD, I totally agree with. For those of you who know me, ADHD, oh, what a shock. But I must admit, I was quite surprised about the neurodivergent bit. I mean, all my grandchildren have either got ADHD or autism. And I always thought, like, on one side of the family, they got it from their father. But now the other two grandchildren, it's like, Because we took two of my grandchildren to McDonald's the other day, and the youngest one was like, ping, 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 ping. And I'm like, oh, there it is. And the other one was like, oh my God, would you look at my sister? You know? So, yeah.
I mean, the thing is, in my family, autism of a kind passes down between the male members of our family.
Yeah.
So my dad had it. Then apparently I had it. But obviously, until 1984, nobody knew what autism was. It didn't have a name.
Yeah.
So we were all told we were hyperactive. We need to stop eating sugar. And we needed to go off down the field and burn off the energy.
It was always food colorings when we were kids, wasn't it? Like,
Yeah.
I'm now 54. Wayne's
52 this year.
52. And it was when we were kids. ADHD didn't exist. Autism and that didn't exist.
No.
It was mentally disabled, physically disabled, nothing else. But back then, because I was always like pee, 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 and it was like, well, you need to watch him food coloring, so you take him off. Like if Sunny Delight had been about when we were kids, it would be like, fucking, you ain't having that, you little bastard, you know. But yeah, it was always food colorings, and now it's actually. It's a thing. He had, you know, they have these things. Oh yeah.
Is that? Oh, it's an attack. That's your T-shirt.
It's Star Wars, but it's a crossover. I thought you might. Hang on, you might appreciate this. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. But I mean, it's you know, like we just learned to deal with the situation, and even now they keep saying to me, "You need to go and get tested." And I'm like, why? What's the point? I've learned to deal with the situation and the issues that my brain has. It would be nice to calm it down with medication because I may have ADHD. However, I would be worried that if I was to take medication to sort those chemical imbalances out, it might stop me coming out with the ideas that I come out with.
It was Irene. She was called slow, but she was climbing the walls and back in the 70s. It was unheard of. That's exactly what we were just saying. You know, back in the it's nice to see you on here, Irene. Actually, back then in the 70s, it was a thing, wasn't it? It was like it's the naughty kid, it's the mouthy kid. You know, it's this, it's that. It's no, it wasn't. We all had issues. Like I've realised my way of thinking. We haven't talked about anything serious like this for a while, but you're one of the best people to talk to. It pisses Rachel off so much. My way of thinking is I have to figure out every other bit before I'll give a proper answer. Otherwise, my answer is like, meh, yeah, it's all right. Yeah, it's okay. Otherwise, it's like, I think, you know, and it pisses off so many people. And I don't mean to do it. I don't mean to piss anybody off or anything like that. But even I've noticed it's getting... As I'm getting older, it's getting a bit worse. I'm like, and then, like I say, my counsellors are like, "Yeah, you need to have that looked into. We think you're neurodivergent." It's like, okay, so yeah, but yeah, back then we were just called the naughty kids, weren't we? Wayne still is. I've heard of him. I thought that when I was on last night, you didn't say hi to me. We did, but what you'll probably find, Rita, is I'll read the messages, and then this is exactly what we're talking about. I'll read the messages and then completely bloody forget what the hell I've just read, and then carry on with doing the show. So if I do miss saying hello to anybody, don't take it personally. I have seen you and I've noted it. It's just the way my brain goes. That's the only reason I can do the show is because I don't think normally. It's the only reason Wade could do the shows and all the shit he does it because he don't think normally. I think if we thought like normal people, it'd be, oh, and here's today's UFO news. It wouldn't have the sheer presence of the Dark Mirror guys. Wouldn't.
No.
You really wouldn't.
Even our research.
Yeah, exactly. And all the people that, sorry, I have to keep moving my legs because I've torn my cartilage on my left knee and it's fucking painful. Even our people that work away in the background and send us stuff, and researchers and friends and people that come on the show and stuff like that, like Irene, Andy, Joe, and all that lot. They're all. You are. They all got something going on. I think Andy's got ADHD, and sure he said he's got ADHD. But Yeah, all the things that back then when we were kids, we would have been best mates. We would have been best mates when we were kids. We'd have all been like, "Ho-ho!" you know.
Yeah, I mean, it is said that most people have a form of autism, but obviously it's different levels of different autistic
There is
traits.
no norm. There is no normal.
No, we're all different, but they've had to look at it now, and they've gone, well, hang on a minute, we've got so many people now that are coming up as autistic based on that fact that
Yeah.
they've done away with giving it names like Asperger's and all these other wonderful fandangled names. And
Gosh.
when
Yeah.
I was speaking to someone the other day, and they couldn't understand why their child that was diagnosed with Asperger's all of a sudden got told it isn't Asperger's, it's just ASD.
That's what. Yeah, Rachel and I were talking about now.
And
They've got rid of all the umbrella terms now. It's just
it's
autism. You're
ASD.
not allowed to say it now.
It's just autism ASD, or Ethan has high functioning autism. Freddie is ADHD, but things like Asperger's have been literally been taken off the textbooks because Asperger or Dr. Asperger,
Asperger.
he was a Nazi German doctor.
Oh.
And a lot of his tests, like Dr. Mengele, were on.
I was going to say, Mengele hate fever tablets are a winner.
Yeah, so Dr. Asperger was the one that discovered Asperger's syndrome, but it was on Jewish children in the camps that he discovered it.
Right.
And that was the reason why they ruled it out and said, no, we don't use that terminology anymore.
I will say one thing with Asperger's. Because I used to work with, as you know, with children and young adults with, I'm not going to say learning difficulties, but with mental health conditions.
Difficulties.
Yeah, SEND difficulties. And all the ones that had Asperger's have all got very, very, very similar traits. Very slightly effeminate. There's a lot of OCD involved. And they're always like, the ones that I worked with were always like tall and quite gaunt. And they were always like anything to do with like, you know, building shit like Lego and Meccano and Roblox and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All of them.
But the one common trait that practically every ASD sufferer has is routine.
Yeah,
that is
definitely.
A common thing with most ASD sufferers is some form of routine. Ethan always had to know what he was doing the day in advance. He had a certain routine when he got up in the morning, routine when he went to bed. Freddie, although he's got a different form of autism, he's got ADHD, his autism still revolves around routine. He has to go to bed in a certain way. He has to, you have to say, "No, night, love you, see you in the morning, sweet dreams." If you don't say it in that order, he has a meltdown.
Do you know what? That would explain a lot with me, because like my sleeping habits, because I used to work nights all the time, because I'm a night owl. And I've tried, turn my day around. No, it always creeps back to sleeping most of the day, and then I'll be up, potter around, do stuff, go to work till midnight, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, come home, stay up for a bit, then go sleep all day, and I've always tried to get out of it. But the thing is, I found that if I break that routine and I get up early and I do this, that, and the other, it screws me right up. Absolutely screws me right up. And I've just realised that's probably why.
Yeah, I mean, it's like with. I don't like to talk about it because it's not really my sort of thing, but it's like the football. A lot of people were like, "Oh my God, we've got to stay up to watch the football. It's going to be starting at 1 o'clock in the morning." Now, it didn't start at 1, it started at 2 because there was thunderstorms, so that was an extra hour. So there are a lot of people, and I think this is the only good thing that Keir Starmer ever did, was allow pubs to stay open until stupid o'clock in the morning. But they stayed up and they watched the football, and then they left the pubs they were in and went to work. you know, and that sort of thing.
Late teens, early 20s. Fucking hell.
I couldn't do that. I knew the match was on at 1 o'clock. I then found out it was delayed till 2 o'clock. I'm like, no, sod you, I'm going to bed. I went to sleep, but something woke me up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And the first thing I did was check my phone to see what the score was.
Who was playing who? Because I mean, I don't follow football. I don't.
It was England versus Mexico.
And who won?
England.
Well, it makes a fucking change because who was it they played last time? And was it Ghana? And they drew because I remember I heard and I was like, what?
The thing is that I try to explain to people that when you've got something like a World Cup, you have a group table. Now, with a group table, everybody goes, "Oh, you should win this one easily."
Just before, I'm sorry, everybody. We're talking about football. I can't stand football. We will get it out of the way very quickly because it's something.
Everybody was saying that you should be able to win it quite easily because of the teams that are in there. But the problem is, if you go out there, all guns blazing, and start scoring goals left, right, and centre, you run the risk of getting injuries. Which means if you win the table, when you get further on into the tournament, you've got these injuries and red cards and yellow cards that all mount up. You're going to end up with half a team. You need the best team possible. And, you know, it's one of those things. But when you've got people that will stay up till stupid o'clock in the morning and they're like, oh, yeah, I've got to go to work now and I'm absolutely shattered, that affects their productivity at work.
Yeah.
You know, unless they book the day off, which on the cuff moment, you can't normally do that. So you have to pull a sickie. I wonder how many people got laid off for work today because they pulled a sickie.
Rachel went into work today and people that are normally there rang. One of them went home because he wasn't well and he's a massive football fan. And one of the other ones just didn't turn up for work and they were all ringing, nah, Mill. Oh, Mill. Fuck off. Just fuck off.
Well, there were some schools that were starting later in the day, like sort of late morning, so that the kids could stay up in the early hours of the morning to watch the football and then come into school a little bit later so they could get some sleep beforehand. I'm like, seriously, come on. I'm just like, no, me, 10:30, I'm going to bed, bollocks to the football.
Yeah, the thing with me with football, I used to like football when I was kid and early teens because boring fact, my dad, my late father, used to know an ex-Manchester United player called Paddy Crowden from the 60s, and he owned a pub in Altrincham, which is where I grew up. Altrincham, Sale, Timpley, all that lot. My dad, that was his regular pub. Every night we'd go down to the Jolly Friar and Paddy Crowden pub. And if you went in there on I think it was a Wednesday night, I wouldn't swear on it, but you'd see Brian Robson, Norman Whiteside, Gary Bailey, all the old Man United team from the 80s. They would all be in there. And to me, that was and I used to have a football, God knows what happened to it, that had all their signatures on it and everything. But that was when I liked watching football.
Yeah.
You know, and or as the Americans say, soccer. It's football.
I only tend to watch the tournaments. I do have an interest in the league and I do follow a team, but I'm not literally religiously watching every bit of football that comes along. And like to the World Cup, I'll follow the start of the tournament, but I'm only interested in getting in towards like the semi-finals and the final itself.
Yeah. So with World Cup and it's nothing. If in football, it's nothing apart from the World Cup. If we get into the quarterfinals or even the semi-finals, and I'm like, and then I'll start paying interest.
Yeah. Well, our next match is on Saturday against Norway, which I think is the first quarterfinal, and I think if the way I look at it. If we beat Norway, we'll end up going against Argentina. And then if we beat Argentina, we will end up going against France in the final.
To be fair, if you're going into a final, England, like, you know, going up against cheese-eating surrender monkeys, I suppose.
Well, France are the top favourites
to win.
to win the tournament. So if it goes the way I think it will go, it will be us beating Norway, if we beat Norway. Because bear in mind, they beat the Brazilians yesterday. So they beat Brazil 2-1. Which
Norway.
Yeah, Norway beat Brazil. Brazil aren't a team they beat normally. But Norway won. And then Argentina. Then you've got Argentina. If we can beat Norway, we've then got Argentina because they're likely to win all their games.
I was going to say, up against Argentina and France, it's like, ooh.
Yeah, and then in the meantime, France is on the top part of that sort of breakdown in the tournament. So they're going to start walking through towards the final, and we've got to go through Norway, Argentina to get to the final. So I think it'll be a France-England final.
It'd be interesting to see. It would be interesting to see. But do you see, this is what I like about the Dark Mirror Radio Show, because we talk about shit. We talk about cryptids, talk about UFOs, conspiracy theories. We'll slate the governments for the crap that they're coming up with and been doing, and the idiots that are running them. And then we'll do this, and we'll go on to like music or tonight football and autism.
Isn't it weird though how we've gone from President Trump being told about hybrids, and now we've just talked about the World Cup football.
That was the link
via ADHD.
Yeah. Well, if it's any use, my mum had universal blood when she was alive. I can't remember what what it is, like a rhesus beat or whatever the fuck it is, because I can't even remember what my own is. Mine's common as muck, but she had the universal blood, the golden blood. You know, the one they don't know where it came from. They can't trace the blood back to any known genus. That one, she had that. It was rare as rocking or shit. But maybe that would explain a lot. I think everybody is slightly autistic in their own way. Everybody has little quirks. Everybody has little things. I call them rituals, but everybody has little rituals that they do. Like me, numbers. It's got to be an even number.
When I think about it, I personally think that the autistic traits that everybody has, I think, is actually our personality. What makes us us.
If we didn't have them, we'd be boring as fuck. Look at Keir Starmer.
We're all different. We're all different, and I think it's the genome that's created the autism that creates our personalities. What makes us us? You know, what I might do will be completely different to what everybody else does, which is part of my autistic trait. And having that creativity is part of that autism. You remove that creativity, and that's your personality gone at the same time.
It's like I'm a fabricator welder by trade because I love looking at plans and putting things together, and I love playing. Now 54 Lego, love it. Love playing with Lego. Love playing with Star Wars Lego and stuff like that. Rachel gets me at like Christmas and birthdays, and I'm like, you know. But it's like watching Rachel with her residents that she works with. I honestly I can't say anything about them, but they are autistic. But she's one of the rare ones that I've seen in any of these situations. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying all people that work in this don't do it. But out of the ones that she works with, colleagues, there's only about 2 of them, and she's one of them that I've watched. And they will, instead of looking at it as a job, she genuinely cares for the people she looks after. And she doesn't talk down to them, doesn't belittle them, doesn't none of that. She actually talks to them. The one thing I've noticed about her, she finds the key to get through to them. And then once she's found that key and unlocked it and realizes how to deal with them, and I've watched her do it with all 4 of the ones that she works with. And it's so good to see, because I know some of the people she works with don't do that. I know they don't do that. They come in, do their job, go home. That's it. But she'll come home from work. Like, she sat there for the last few days and she's done a folder. And in the folder, it's all places you can take the residents. But in there, she's gone through everything about where it is, how far it is, what the toilet facilities are. Are they wheelchair accessible? Are they this? Are they that? Are they other? And she's put it all together in a little folder. And I went, what? But I was taking the mickey, and she's like, what? And she goes, but it's going to help the residents in the long run, because, like, you know, I want to go there. Okay, well, let's have a look. Oh, yeah, it's got toilet facilities. And I thought it was really, really good. And she's the only person there I've seen do anything like that.
And I think that is one of the problems with a lot of schools is that the people that are working with these individuals, they're not doing it because they want to help the individual.
Yeah.
They're doing it because they're getting paid to do it. I mean, we found out with Freddie, he has a one plan, but he also has what they call an educational healthcare plan.
Yeah.
When he first started, we applied for it, and he was only given a level 2. And the school complained and went, we can't handle with this. It's not enough to provide a one-on-one teacher for the day. So he said, right, okay, they're going to appeal it. So they appealed it. They got a level 5 for him, which was more than enough to provide for a whole day with a one-on-one support.
Yeah.
He only does 2.5 hours a day.
I was just about to say, how many hours a day does he do? And they get the funding for a full day.
They're getting the funding for a full day. So I'm asking the question, where's the rest of that money going? And
Millions.
I found out last night that how much they get. Now, every term, and there's 3 full terms in an academic year,
yeah,
between £10,000 and £15,000 per term.
For Freddie?
For Freddie alone.
And he's getting 2.5 hours a day, and that's it.
And he gets 2.5 hours a day.
Somebody's got some explaining to do.
Exactly. And are the school going to turn around and say, we would like to give this much back because Freddie's only getting 2.5 hours a day?
No, that'll go into school funding.
And Freddie is not the only child that gets an EHCP. There are other children in that school that are on the autistic spectrum, and they are getting funded on an EHCP, and some of them aren't doing a full day.
Funnily enough, I remember seeing a TV program not too long ago that was reporting on schools doing that, claiming the money for the full day, and the kids were only getting like an hour and out of 2 hours, stuff like that. Yeah, it's fairly common practice in amongst schools that have special needs in.
Yeah, and it's wrong. It shouldn't be happening.
So, yeah. Anyway, could you start telling everybody about when you were down Rendlesham Forest? We've been down Rendlesham Forest before a couple of times, but Wayne found what looks like to be the entrance to something. Would you like to explain to the good people?
Okay, so on Saturday,
you remember that helmet, the German man in black. Oh yeah, I should be watching this. He'll be watching you. So just.
So on Saturday, I returned to Rendlesham Forest with fellow podcasters Lois Haddo, or William Morgan, as she's also known.
From Scottish.
Yes, from Mystical Carousel Show and Fools and Ghouls. Jacqueline Dixon from Paranormal Path, and Tim and Lynn from Fools and Ghouls and the other one. And we all met up at Rendlesham Forest, and in the evening we sort of descended into the UFO trail. We started off at the East Gate car park and headed down to the crossroads. We stopped there and we did a few EMF tests, and from the word go, we had literally EMF meter readers going crazy. There's no electricity in the area whatsoever. There's no mobile phone masts in the area because we kept losing signal. So we knew full well there was nothing special, but we got EMF meter readers. Now, Tim then turned around and said, instead of going straight down the path towards where the site was, we'll go left here. There's something I want to show you.
Yeah.
So, okay. So we've gone off down that path. We've walked down towards where the site was. And he went, it's there in the bushes. And when I looked, there was this big concrete disc. And underneath it was a big square, 4 bricks high, sticking out the ground. Someone had obviously tried to get the concrete lid off by putting a log underneath it and prying it up, but obviously got nowhere. But you could clearly see that that was the entrance or the exit for something. We'd gone down to the UFO site, had a look around. Me being me, we got there pitch black and we could see these glowing things in the floor. And they looked really bizarre, or literally like a bluey green colour. They were glowing, even with the torches out. And I went, what the hell are those? And I picked one up and I thought it was a leaf or a bit of vegetation. And I'm like rubbing it like this with my fingers. Turned out to be a caterpillar. It was a glow bug or something, but I literally was doing that in my fingers and I squished it. Willow picked one up and she had it in her hand. That's how we found out it was a caterpillar. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I just minced this up in my fingers. Thanks for that.
This is why we're friends. You can see that, can't you?
Yesterday, obviously, I didn't stay the night when we finished at the landing site, or the ledge landing site where the big lemon squeezer is. I then went home. The rest of them went back to the campsite. But during the day yesterday, Lynn, Tim, and Willow decided to go off out into the forest again.
I'm sorry. This is my whatever the hell it is, ADHD, whatever the fuck it is. Lynn, Tim, Barney McGrew, Cuthbert, Dibble, Grub.
you Barney McGrew, Cuthbert, Dibble, and Grub went off back out into the forest. But when they went down to the crossroads where we did the EMF meters, they turned right. And 20 yards down on the left-hand side, they came across this brick building in the middle of the forest. It looked so out of place. And they have taken a video footage of this building. And I saw it for the first time, and straight away, I knew what it was.
Yeah.
But it was a normal square building. There was no windows, no air vents that you could, physically see in the walls. But there was a trench in the floor all the way around the inside of this square building. But whatever was put over the top of these trenches, because the trenches had a lip on the edge, so something was placed over the top. Now, I personally think it was a grill plates that were put over the trenches. And I turned around, I said to him, the first thing I said was, it's gas chamber. And that was for respirator checks. So you would go into the gas chamber, they would put CS gas in, you would say gas, 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 slam your respirator on, and then you'd
say your name and
number. Name, rank, and number. Take the mask off, take a deep breath, say your name, rank, and number, and then get out. But that to me said gas chamber. The thing that we're confused about was, what was it doing in the middle of Rendlesham Forest?
Yeah.
The only answer I can think of was back in the day when that was being used as a gas chamber, that section of Rendlesham Forest did not belong to the Forest Commission. It still belonged to the MOD, I reckon, at that particular time, which is before the 1980s.
Yeah.
So we're talking Second World War, or before the Second World War, up to about the 50s, maybe the 60s, and then the base was sort of declined a little bit, and they just left the building there. They just decommissioned it and left it.
The thing is that's obviously a ventilation shaft, I think, that's been concreted over.
Yeah.
Do you reckon anything down there?
I don't think there is anything down there. I mean, that ventilation shaft, it is, I would say it's about 70 odd meters away from where the building is.
Yeah.
But there is rumour, I have found out, that there are tunnels that lead from Woodbridge up to Bentwaters, which is only a mile and a half away up the road.
That makes sense, yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if that cover was either a ventilation cover or that was part of the tunnel network that leads to Bentwaters.
Well, there's tunnels all around here, isn't there, going up to RAF Staxton Wold. Staxton. There's tunnels all around out there. But also with RAF Staxton, if you go up, you've got the monument near us, which is where they also do motorbike racing at the weekends. Look it up for Scarborough, you'll see it. But if you go up there sort of like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and look across, or just go anywhere high where you can see stacks, and you'll see some interesting things going on, and interesting shaped planes and lights, and I won't say planes, I'll say aircraft coming into land, and there's been a lot of activity, especially involving helicopters here, and a lot of the helicopters that have been going over haven't got squawk boxes on.
Yeah, but the weirdest thing that for me was when we got to the alleged landing site, because we know that isn't where they actually landed. They landed in the field behind Rendlesham Forest. We couldn't actually go into the field because at the moment the farmer is breeding pigs in it. So we couldn't go in the field. We wouldn't have probably got much anyway, but at the moment the field has got the pigs. So we got to the actual alleged site, and I'm sitting on the giant lemon squeezer and I'm looking directly up. Now, when myself and Mark visited there, Mark took a picture of the black triangle, which is in the group, is on the group page.
The Dark Mirror Radio Show's Facebook page. Look into the pictures and you'll see the actual black triangle, 3 points of light that I took when we were there at Rendlesham Forest.
In the picture, the triangle is pointing to the northeast. As you look at the picture, the triangle is pointing to the northeast. Saturday night when we were there, it was pointing to the southwest, so the opposite direction. But it's the same time of year as when me and Mark visited, so the stars were all roughly in the same place. Yet that triangle was pointing in the opposite direction to what it was when we were there a couple of years before.
Do you reckon it could be something to do with Space Force, or do you reckon it is something that's involving us and aliens? That's fucking twice I got to say it today.
I don't know, you see, because I don't think Space Force has anything big enough to what we saw.
As far as I'm aware, I told you this ages ago, and I've not been able to find a list. I had a list which listed all the Space Force craft, and there's only one. Again, allegedly, there's only one that's supposed to be capable of interstellar flight.
Yeah, but it's okay being capable of interstellar flight, but it was the sheer size of what we saw.
Yeah.
You know, at the height, I mean, height is deceptive. When you're on the ground looking up, you can only rough estimate how big something is because distance doesn't work.
For those of you out there watching, we saw this massive black triangle at Rendlesham Forest. We were on the UFO monument, or the lemon squeezer as Wayne calls it, looking up, and it's a copse of trees that goes right around it. And when you look up, you've got the gap, and we saw UFOs going over, and then we saw jets chasing after them, and then we saw this black triangle. And the thing was with this black triangle, because I've had a few people say, oh, it was this constellation and it was this and it was that. Yes, there are triangle constellations. However, this thing, you could see the stars all the way around the edge, but inside the triangle shape, there were no stars. It was bright moonlight because it was a full moon, and the moonlight was reflecting off the clouds onto the bottom of this big black triangle, because you could clearly see the triangle and the light reflected on the bottom of it or from the clouds as they went past. No lights out inside the triangle, no stars inside that triangle, tons all the way around it. It was not a star system, it was a ship.
There was only a few wisps of clouds, and you know, they were the wispy clouds, so they're higher than, was it, the cumulus, which is the big fluffy ones.
They were underneath. All the cumulus clouds were underneath. This was in the stratosphere.
The wispy ones are the higher up ones, and whatever this was, it was higher than those. And you could see the moon's light reflecting off of those clouds as they passed underneath this triangle. And there was no stars inside that triangle, yet you could see clearly the stars all around the sky because there's no light pollution or anything anywhere in that forest. I remember when we saw it. Black.
I remember when we saw it, because I remember when I looked up, like, Wayne, look up.
Yeah. But the thing was as well was everything that we saw that night, all the 5 other objects that we saw, not one of those showed up on the flight radar.
No, they had no score boxes
Nothing.
on.
There was
no
nothing on the satellite trackers either. There was no International Space Station, no Starlink, nothing. And yet the 2 F-15s that came from west to east, which is the same direction that all these objects disappeared to, showed up on the flight radar as coming from RAF Lakenheath.
For those of you watching, whenever we go and do anything that vaguely regarding UFOs or anything like that, we always check. If we see anything, we always check if it's got a transponder on, squawk box, if it's terrestrial, if it's from a different country, blah blah blah. We'll check satellite links, we'll check the space station, we'll check the Starlink. We check everything. We don't just go, oh, it's an alien. We check everything first, and then we rule out whatever it's not, and then whatever you're left with, it's probably that. So
yeah, I mean, that was the first thing we did, was we checked every single website that we could to find out what was there. And we did the same thing on Saturday night. We saw 3 objects flying from west to east. And at first we went, oh, it's the International Space Station when we saw the first object. Then the second object went past. We thought, oh, that's got to be Starlink. Then a third one went past, and that was it. We didn't see any more. So I jokingly said, that'll be the International Space Station. Then the Russian capsule is chasing after the International Space Station to try and fix it. And then that's NASA sending a capsule up to try and beat the Russians to the International Space Station to fix it.
Yeah.
Now, we made a bit of a joke about it until I checked on the flight radar and the satellite radars. There was nothing flying over at that particular time.
Every time we've gone to Rendlesham, something's happened.
Yeah.
There has been some unexplained anomaly flying around, and it's not been military, it's not been terrestrial, it's not got a squawk box on. And
it wasn't just in the air either. Because when we were there,
in the forest.
We kept hearing footsteps walking around the outer perimeter of where we were.
That's right.
And we knew for a fact that we were being watched, because we were watched at the East Gate.
That's right.
When we were filming the introduction for the Truth Beyond Paranormal. Then when we went down to the end of the runway where the footpath is, the same people were in the white pickup truck at the bottom of the runway watching us on the other side of the fence. And I think they knew something was coming that night.
They must do, because, like, as you say, we were watched like bloody hawks that particular night, but the other one we weren't.
No.
So
but
the fact that
Saturday night, we weren't being watched, but we had a bit of a worrying moment, because we were all standing there. This is like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. And all of a sudden we saw this torch walking down the footpath towards us. And it was coming from the direction of the base. And we were like, okay, who's out walking around at this time of night? And it was some bloke on his own, just walking around in the woods in the middle of the night. And we're like, okay. Now, he came in and he spoke to us. He walked straight past where we were and then came in from the actual footpath. And he started talking to us. And I'm thinking, why would someone literally be on their own in the middle of this forest? And then he literally just said hello, didn't take a photo or anything, and just walked on.
Hang on a minute. Green beans. You stayed in a caravan park not that far from there, and I think something locally. Are you talking about Rendlesham Forest, or are you talking about here at Scarborough? Because I can tell you a few things about one of the caravan parks here at Scarborough, where you regularly see stuff flying off the edge, over across the sea, off the edge of the cliffs. There, I used to do security at one, and
evening Green Beans.
Who is Green Beans?
Follows me on TikTok as well.
Well, whoever you are, Green Beans, thank you for staying with us and watching this and liking the show. As you all, for those of you on there,
yes.
It's Rendlesham. Yeah. You want to try having a look at coming out to Scarborough and staying at some of the caravan parks there. You'll see some interesting things.
Green
Trust me.
Beans, have you shared and dropped your heart me?
I think he has shared and dropped a heart in. I'm sure he has.
Awesome stuff. And
Yeah.
Green Beans, don't forget I'm live Wednesday at 9 o'clock.
Did you hear that? Wayne's live on Wednesday at 9 o'clock. So yeah.
That goes to you as
But
well,
yeah.
Mark, because I keep sending you the link and you never come in.
To be absolutely honest, normally when you send me the link, I'm right in the middle of doing something. I do pop in occasionally, though. Oh, I'm not around this weekend either, so I'm not around at all. So I'll let you know afterwards. I'll let you know afterwards what I'm up to. But yeah, very, very busy this weekend. So I'll let you know. I'm not saying it on here. I'll tell you afterwards. But yeah, caravan parks, like I say. Do you remember when I was still working up at Blue Dolphin and I was on my own and I was on patrol in the van, and there's one bit of Blue Dolphin which is got where, because you got all the big chalets and big massive caravans you can stay in, but you got the bit where you can bring your own tents and caravans and you can go stay there. Well, one of the bits, it's called I think it's called basic camping. One of the bits is literally goes up a hill and it's the top of it, literally near the edge of the cliff. And I was parked at the top of this because I used to find it quite relaxing up there, and you can see the whole of the caravan park from there, so you can see if there's any lights going on or torches going about and stuff that shouldn't be there. And I was there, and do you remember me putting that video up on the dark mirror of me in the van watching this fucking light come across the sea over the cliff and then just stop? It was there for ages. It just stopped, and it went, and then stopped, and then it went overhead, over the van where I was, and then stopped again, and then it went back out the sea again. And I was like, "Oh, what the fuck is this?" You'll find them all on the Facebook page of the Dark Mirror Radio Show. Look in all the films and photos and stuff that have been posted up. You'll find it all on there. Some interesting stuff on there. Yeah. I'm trying to say all this stuff that keeps flashing up here. I'm not used to TikTok, and I'm going, what's this? What's that? It's telling me to add everybody as guests on the show and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's why TikTok is a lot easier to use than doing things through Streamlabs and stuff like that, because you can go live once you've got enough followers. You can go live on TikTok and you can add and remove guests as you go along throughout the live. You haven't got to send them the link. You can just add them direct.
Well,
it's a lot easier.
We're supposed to be. We're supposed to have had Nick Moulet on today, because he was supposed to be joining us, but he was sent the link and he hasn't come in. So I guess he hasn't seen the link, or he's forgotten, or he's busy, or whatever. Naughty.
He's typically late.
Yeah, well, we're nearly done. What was I going to say? Do you remember Vinny Vineyard?
Yes.
I was about having him on again.
Yeah.
He is a he's a mate of mine. He's a very interesting guy. He used to be a pro wrestler, amongst other things, over in America. Really interesting. And now he's in the paranormal world. And yeah, he's batshit crazy like the rest of us. Always interesting. Irene, we're going to have you back on at some point as well. Because see how things are going over in Japan in the UFO and volcanoes and ghosts and God knows what else over in Japan. Because whenever there's a volcano, there's always UFO activity, and Irene is as batshit crazy as the rest of us. So yeah, and hopefully we'll have Josh back on soon. He has messaged
on Nick time.
Oh God, looks like he's having issues at work. Yeah, so we'll sort that out with Josh when he can do. But on Nick time, yeah, we're on Nick time. Nick, you forgot, dude, didn't you? You completely forgot. I don't know. Just checking my messages to Nick. Yeah, he hasn't even seen the bloody message. Yeah, so never mind. But what time is it anyway? It is. Oh, we still got 20 minutes left. That's all right. So, but yeah, I still keep watching the UFO stuff, and as per bloody usual, it goes UFOs. Yeah, and we're now at at the moment. However, do you remember throughout the years, I've always said, look at the South American stuff. You'll see loads of sightings. It's exactly that. Go and research South American sightings. You'll see fucking tons of them over there.
Yeah, but the thing is, and we've said this so many times already, that there will be a piece of information given out. There'll be a bit of disclosure. So many files have been released. President Trump has been given privied information into such and such. Then something will come along, like the Ukraine war, that all of a sudden sort of then flatlines. Then it all starts again. Then something like the Iran crisis comes along and it flatlines. Then it comes back again. And now we've got the World Cup football, it flatlines. So in between these big things that are going on, we get given drip fed these things. Yeah. And then all of a sudden another big event will come along. So after the World Cup, you watch, then all of a sudden be a sudden influx of UFO sightings or disclosure things coming out. And then when the next big event comes along, that will stop again.
And also,
it's almost as if they're trying to pass the time away.
Well, the thing is, all the stuff that they've released, if you look, and you have to look in depth, like carefully, go on to, what is it? What's that bloody UFO website called now? I mentioned it last week and I forgot.
What, MUFON?
No, MUFON. Don't trust MUFON. If you want the truth, no, I don't. I used to have a lot of respect for MUFON, and then I heard from several insiders that they work with the government, with the governments, and have the heads of certain parts of MUFON have had their ears bent towards the Bobberment agenda, and I'll just leave that there. Yeah. So that's why I no longer have any respect for MUFON. I used to want to be part of MUFON, but
in other words, they've been paid off.
Oh, hang on, I've got to slide a piece of jigsaw over.
Yes, you've been on an hour.
What do you mean? I keep putting a piece of jigsaw in and it goes, no.
It's got to be perfect.
Oh, there you go. Right. So, yeah, all this stuff's going on, and it's just like... Oh, of course, we started at 9:30, not bloody... Yeah, we've been running over an hour. I'm talking shite. No wonder I'm going, we should have finished by now. Told you, bloody autism.
It says on my screen that we've been live for an hour and 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's and it brings us back fully. Autism, love it. I don't know, but yeah. Before we disappear, it is. I find it odd that all this is going on. If you look in the files on their U.S. government's UFO disclosure website, you'll see that in the last file dump and the one before, hidden away, there's actually some pages in there where they've admitted and said, yeah, we're working with aliens. We have been for a long time. Not all of them are nasty. A lot of them are benevolent, and they work well with us, and they just want the betterment of mankind. They don't like us using nukes. They don't like us using stuff like that. They do know about renewable and sustainable energy, but the Bobberments and the energy giants, being the people that they are, won't do that. Hopefully, this will all come out, and we will get all this stuff because God knows we need it. So yeah. But you have to know what you're looking for. Go into the file dump. Just keep looking. Keep researching. Use certain words that will come up, and then you'll eventually find it all. But they have admitted that aliens are here, and they're here to help us. So, yeah. Make it out what you will. Right. Thank you for listening to our inane dribbles, as per usual. We'll be back. No. Oh. I won't be here next Monday. Well, I won't be able to do a show next Monday. I'll explain in a minute. But would you be able to do a show or put an old one on or something?
How am I going to put an old one on?
Just go onto the Dark Mirror wall, because you're an admin on it. Just go onto the Dark Mirror one, find an old show, and then put it on. I
will have to put an old one on simply because I'm going to be busy with my project.
You'll be doing that, yeah.
I've literally got until the end of next week to get it all done.
I'll give you a chance to finish it then. Josh isn't coming with us at the moment because of his job. His job's changed his hours and put him on the swing shift, so he's at work when we're doing this. He is trying to sort something out. We need to do some pre-records with Josh if we can. So we'll have to sort that out. This is why I'm trying to get more guests on for us and stuff as well. But yeah, next Monday if you can.
Sorry, I was having a wavy moment.
You were having a wavy moment, yeah.
Yes.
Autism. There you go.
I was trying to reminisce about a previous show. You see, I was trying to sort of get in the mood for it. And yes, a previous show.
Yeah. They're all on there. Just got to find one and bung it on there. But yeah, I'll talk to you in a second after we say goodbye. I'll let you know what it is and it's going on next weekend. So those of you who are joining us on TikTok, I will say thank you very much for joining us. And I'm going to end the live now. Every Friday, talking shit, ignore me. Every Monday night at 9:30 till 10:30, we will be live. And I'll try. I've still got to figure out how the fuck I can link this and this together, but we will sort it at some point. So thank you for joining us out there, and we will see you all soon.
Yes, thank you, TikTok.
Bye. And Wayne said, thank you, TikTok. Bye-bye.
We love TikTok Shop.
Hey?
We love TikTok Shop.
I use TikTok Shop a lot, yeah.
And that is another thing I meant to remind you about. Do you have your settings set to over 18?
On TikTok?
Yeah.
No, I don't think it. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do, because of the swearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because when you first swore, I thought, yeah, normally you would have been restricted by TikTok for swearing if you hadn't. So
no, I'm sure it's because it's not the Dark Mirror Show without this gob going off on a rant and swearing anyway. So yeah. So I will say. Cheery beat, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I will take a delve into UFO. In fact, I might take a delve into cryptozoology this week and see what I can find. If I find anything new and interesting, I will send it to Wayne and we'll talk about it next week. But when we normally talk about everything that's going on, and what tonight? You had autism. You had, what did you have? The autism, football, UFOs, Rendlesham Forest. What more could you want? I mean, hey. You know, you got the host with the most there, most gob, the most hair, bastard. Least hair, handsome devil. And we will see you all next week. Remember to watch Wayne's shows and Wayne's. In fact, go on, give it a plug. Give it a plug.
Yes, we're on the Paranormal Files on TikTok live Wednesday and Sunday from 9 p.m.
There you go. Let's just do that. We'll be back at 9:30, and as per usual, if I see anything, I'll put it up on the Facebook wall. Because I'm a bit of an old dinosaur and I don't really know how to use TikTok and stuff properly. I do need to get used to it. But, yeah. Anyway, see you all later. Thank you very much for joining us. Everybody in the chat. Let's just bye-bye, Noreen. Bye-bye, Rita. Everybody else, thank you for joining us. Where's the videos? There they are. I'll say see you later and cheery bit.
Hello.
Bye-bye.